Hey, Jackie, what up?
Hi, John. How are you?
Doing great. How are you?
Hanging in there. A little nervous.
I'm nervous too, 'cause I'm not very good at this. What's up?
So my question is, how do I bond with my husband about my culture while we are empty nesters?
Tell me more.
So we've been together about 30 years this year, and he really has not been involved with my African culture. I, I didn't really realize until I had kids how important it was to me.
Tell me about your culture.
So I was born originally in West Africa, and
Like in Ghana, over in that area?
yes,
Oh,
yeah,
very, very cool. Okay.
yeah, and then
I have some strange family connections there we can talk offline about. That's very cool.
yeah. Well, when I came to America and started going to American school, I was teased, and so I did everything. I was told I wasn't American, so I did everything I could to just get rid of my culture and just not claim it while going to school. So fast forward, after I got together with my husband, I didn't really talk much about it, didn't really do anything except for when I took him home to meet my parents, and my mother, fed him and was like, "What are you going to feed this white man?" So it was.
How was that? Was that incredible?
It was, because he is very, very American.
He's super, super white.
Yes.
How did he handle it? Was it a good trip? Was it fun?
It was. No, he didn't go to Ghana. I took him in America. No, my husband has never stepped foot in Ghana.
Okay, why won't he go home with you?
He says it's too hot.
That's bullcrap
And
on a
there's
stick
no
with a
Diet
pony.
Pepsi.
And there's no Diet Pepsi? Oh, so good gosh. That's so dumb. That's so dumb. That's about as an American excuse as you can get. It's too hot and I don't get my diet soda. Have your kids gone back?
So I brought my son as an adult. It's really expensive, and so I brought my son. We recently went last year as a family. My husband, not my husband, my son, my mother, my brother, because my grandmother had passed away, and so we went there. And my son, my kids are adults, and so they finally got to see it for the first time. I hadn't been there in 30 years because the last time I was there, I was brutally raped by a doctor. So it was very hard for me to go back.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
But after going back there last year, I felt a connection with my people, my family. It was just so great to be back and see everybody. And so I've just, I realized that that's something that I've really been missing in my life.
Yeah, you as much as we don't want to, when you bury a part of your culture, when you bury a part of yourself, the movements and the voices and the faces and the activities and the celebrations and the grieving, all of these things woven together, if you bury part of that in order to keep the peace in whatever environment you found yourself, it grows, right? Fester is probably too dramatic of a word, but it festers under there. You never feel peace because you're not ever fully you.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Whew. And I would, if we were sitting down one-on-one and we had a couple of hours, I would draw this from you, but I'll just put it out on the table. Is there a part of you that feels like after 30 years, your husband still doesn't fully love the real you, or doesn't fully love the woman he's married to?
Yes, I have felt that.
Have you said that?
I have not said that in those exact words, no.
Okay. I think you've done 30 years plus the years you were dropped in the middle of a foreign country and a foreign culture and you were mocked and made fun of and said you weren't enough and you weren't like people. I think you've buried yourself long enough. And you're changing the dynamic in that marriage. And I think the challenge for you is you're going to get one set of voices that says, he sucks. He just needs to get over it. That's a heavy light switch to flip in the middle of a 30-year marriage, right?
Right.
And on the other side, you're going to get voices that say, oh, no, you live in America now. And that's bullcrap too. This is part of your life. This is part of you. But at some point, for you to be whole, you're going to have to sit down and look this man across the aisle. You love this guy, right?
Yes, wholeheartedly.
And he doesn't want to go visit your home because he misses his Diet Pepsi, but is he a pretty good guy? Good dad?
He is.
Okay.
He is a good guy. Yeah.
Okay. Sounds like he has lacks significant understanding or education about your culture, and more importantly, about what it means to feel so unplugged. And maybe a reference point is the thought of him going to your home country, that feeling he gets, that anxiousness that I ain't doing that. Tell him that's what I felt every day for the last 40 years. And I've stayed here for you. And I want you to know all of me. And also, if I can just speak frankly, I would not want to go back and revisit the scene where somebody brutally assaulted my wife. And so maybe there's something bigger than just the cultural context here. Maybe there's the violence, somebody hurt my wife, I don't know the rules. And so I think I'm always want to be compassionate about, I'm going to teach you. But as a part of us moving forward, I need you to know and love all of me. And here's what this looks like. And then that's really vulnerable for you. I know, because he can look at you and say, I'm not going. I will never go.
Yeah.
And that's hard, right?
Yes. Yes. Because I've seen and been around other couples, whose American spouses embrace their wife's culture and have taken their young kids and have, they do the food and the music and everything, and mine doesn't do that. Yeah. And so I'm jealous.
Well, and I think that's part of telling the truth. I'm jealous.
Yes.
And maybe ask, like, what is it? It's not Diet Pepsi. Stop with that nonsense. And it's not the heat. Stop with that nonsense. Beneath it, what's the story beneath it? Is it safety concerns? Is it too much nonsense media? Is it, I honestly don't know the rules. I'm scared to be in a place where I don't know the language. Like, what is it? Let's address those core fears. Because y'all are in the back half now. Y'all get to pick y'all get to choose what happens in the back half.
Yes.
It can be an amazing adventure where you go all over the place and you learn all about things, and suddenly this super white Midwestern American with a Diet Pepsi can in his hand is dancing with his wife in Ghana. Like, how crazy, fun, and beautiful is that? Amazing. And I've got, like I said, I got family members that travel to Ghana somewhat regularly. And the shots and the travel and the joy mixed with the poverty and all of it, right? It's a big jumbled bag, right? And so I think telling a guy who clearly hasn't traveled very much, like, hey, this is important to me, and let's get to the root of it. All of this rests on an understanding that he can look at you and say, I'm not doing it. And then you're going to have to decide, am I going to make a life where part of my life is, I'm going to do this by myself, but this is going to be part of me because it is part of me. And my kids, and we're going to make a regular pilgrimage every year is what we're going to do. It's going to be a part of us. Or are you going to put a lock on that box and bury it forever? I think that's the question you're going to have to ask for yourself. And my deepest hope is that he does this with you.
Me too. Me too. 'Cause he would have fun.
I know he would. I know he would.
Mm.
I know he would. Thank you for honoring the complexity of his situation, and more importantly, thank you for telling us your story.
Oh, thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Yeah, and invite your kids. And I think sometimes we think cultural differences have to be across the world like this. I grew up in the city. I grew up in the suburbs of a city, and my wife grew up on the outskirts of a smaller West Texas town. We grew up 7 hours apart from each other, but we might as well have been on different planets. And it's important for me to go be a part of the culture she grew up with. I watch her go, whew, and she exhales. And I've also seen my wife come to the bowels of a Houston punk rock venue and sit up against the wall during a wild 30-foot fall show while there's mosh pits and people flying off the balcony and because that was the culture I grew up in. And it was, I want to know all of you. I want to love all of you. So this like while we're talking Ghana and America right now, it can be as just a few hours away. But this idea that I want to know all about you and I want to love all of you. And I can't pretend that your childhood, that your family, your lineage doesn't exist. Is that fair?
Right. That's fair.
Amazing. Your mission is to tell the truth. And I know that's going to be hard, right?
Yes.
So
Very.
write down on a piece of paper all by yourself. Take yourself to a coffee shop and get some tea and write down, here's what I want. I want to go on a trip. I want to get a budget, and once a year I want to go to take one kid or all the kids, or I want to do the whole family. What are the things you want? And then in another column, what do you need? Husband, I need you to love all of me. I need you to know all of me. I need to get to the bottom of your fears on this deal. I need us to be together as we decide, as we co-create what the next 30 years of our marriage is going to be like. Because I don't want to get to the end and think, man, I wish my kids had gotten to know their family members or their cousins or the things that make them who they are. Phew. You're awesome, Jackie. Thank you so much for the call. And to the husbands out there, just go. Just go. Go scared. Go freaked out. Just go. It's almost always incredible.